Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Dina and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as you know, we cannot talk yarn and yarny stuff without me having my faithful mug of tea here, which today is just like a classic neutral Earl Grey tea with a hint and flavor of a bergamot. So yeah, just a standard Earl Grey basically. Lots of things has been going on the past week, so it is absolutely due time to come with an update for you guys. The weather seems slightly ever so changing a bit. We've had plenty of week with just sun and it's been really dry, and now it's finally getting a bit cloudy, so I am praying for rain. We did actually have rain yesterday, but the few drops we got was basically evaporated from the ground before they barely hit it. We need rain desperately here, at least where I live. I don't know about you guys, but we need rain. And yeah, then I finished one object during the last week. I almost finished a second. And I made good progress on other projects. Plus I have new projects planned out that we are gonna be talking about. So let's start with the object that I finished, which is the clutch, aka bag, or clutch or bag, or whatever we should call it, pouch. And it has a zipper in now. So it is slightly ever so unaligned here. And I noticed that it's slightly bit narrower at the top than at the bottom end, which means that I probably have had slight ever so bit more tension on my stitches towards the upper part than I had here at the lower part. Obviously that's kind of sad, but at the same time it makes it unique. Looking at it now, I might actually use it still for the first intentionally idea, which was storing my prim crochet hooks. So here you can see I have it with a nice lining on the inside, all hand sewn. It took a lot longer than I had imagined, but I managed to sew it and see there, like you can't see the stitches. So I think I did a good job. At least I'm pretty satisfied. The only thing that my perfectionist eye obviously dislike is the fact that it's a slight bit more narrow here on the top. Again, practice makes perfect, they say, right? So if we take one of my prim hooks and we put it in here, it's more or less almost a perfect fit. There is just a few centimeters on top. And in the beginning, I thought it was going to be way too big for these hooks, but right now, I think it's actually not gonna be so bad at all. Like, due to another project, I have a few more hooks here laying around, so let's just insert them all. That looks good, doesn't it? Like, you don't want them to be too tight fit either, actually, because then it's difficult to get them out and in of the bag. So I think in the end, I actually ended up making a perfect size, even though in the beginning, I thought it was gonna be way too big. And the zipper, right now it's a bit messy, but it was going smooth yesterday. So there it is. Goes smooth. There we have it. So that's it. I'm absolutely not unsatisfied with how this turned out. Of course, my perfectionist, and I am a bit of a perfectionist sometimes, wanted to have it perfect like it was not. It's a little bit tending of ringing, and I'm honestly unsure if it's due to how I sew in the zipper or if it's due to this slightly ever tighter gauge or tension that I had towards the top of this project. But the end result is useful and it fits my crochet hooks, so I do believe that is going to be its end purpose here in life. So hey, happy days. Then I have another project that I've been working on for some time that I almost finished, which is the Leave Me on West. And basically I ran out of time this weekend. That's what happened. When I was done with the pouch last night around 9:30, 10-ish p.m., I was like, I'm not in the mood to sew together one more project. I want to do something else. And that's why it wasn't done, basically. And it's short. Let's see. But I finished all the pieces of it. And I'm just gonna find the right, so they turn the right way upside down. So this would be one piece side. Then I have another side piece here. And you will notice I optioned to have a longer tail intentionally to help me sew the projects together. This is roughly not the best shirt I have on to show and display this, but that's roughly how it's gonna be looking on the front side. I have this huge back panel, and it is an oversized vest, so that's important to say, and that's why it feels so big and looks so big when I compare it. But this is the remaining pattern of it, and as you can see, it is very lovely drapey, and it is an absolutely gorgeous filet stitch of these leaves that goes all the way through. And you know, I had made rooms here for the arms and also on the front panels. In fact, I did reach to lay all these pieces out as how they're intended to be sewn together. And I am just gonna be inserting that photo, that photo, yeah, it is a photo right here, and you can have a look at it. As you can see, I've done my very best to align the three pieces together in as how we are going to sew them together. And if you can see here, then at the side parts, both of the side panels or front panels have been laid next to the sides of the back panel. And then I'm just simply going to sew those pieces together up to the sides until where I get to the arm gaps. And then on the top end, once those sides are sewn on, I can flip the top end over and sew on the shoulder parts to the top side of the back panel, which will obviously leave a gap for the neck. And then on the front side, you can see the first part of the front panels will have this straight side going down until it gets to this place where there is this slightly so ever V shape going out to create the whole width of the front panels. Also, you will notice that I have some places woven in the ends and some places left longer tails. And those places where I did weave in the shorter ends, I do regret not thinking ahead back then, which obviously I first started on a bit later, because why not leave a long tail behind and use this long tail to sew the project together with? That's ideal. And yeah, I really somehow forgot to think ahead. And I really wished I would have left some longer tails so that I could have used that for sewing the project together with. But yeah, hey, we all live and learn, and that's how you can see that definitely on the top left of this picture that I have a longer tail to sew this shoulder piece on the back panel with. And yeah, I will just have to use some yarns. I still have some left, luckily, to finish up sewing this piece together. And yeah, I hope it makes a bit sense. Goal is for this vest is to have it sewn together, obviously, for next week's yarn talk video, which should absolutely not be an issue. At least I believe it shouldn't be an issue. And I still have yarns left. And then we will see where it goes. But yeah, I really enjoyed the drape it has, and it's a beautiful pattern. So I am absolutely going to look forward to have all this sewn together. So I am gonna lay that a bit away because the next project we have is my baby blanket, and that's been processing ever so well. The skein is kind of being a bit like a flat pull skein, and I just need to find out where I have my yarn coming from, what end that end. So I don't tangle it more. I've progressed well on it, I think. I should have measure tape somewhere, but we are not at the meter yet. So this blue stitch marker marks where I left off last week, and the green marks where I got to. But if you notice very well, this is all the way down, which means that I finished from here all these shells in the last row, which is like, it was a round and a half, not around, a side and a half left. Then I made a bunch of these V-stitches, chain 5, V-stitch, chain 5, V-stitch, all the way around, except for, of course, in the corner, we do have the corner V-stitches. Here's a nice example of a corner V-stitch. So here we have the prior V-stitch, we have the chain 5, we have the new V-stitch, chain 3, and then another V-stitch all the way in the same stitch here at the bottom. And then it goes around basically. So I made a complete V-stitch round to prepare for the next round of shells. And I am only missing a side and like 5 shells to have another round fully completed. So I did like 2 rounds plus this. And the shell rounds is definitely the rounds that takes the longest to do, because in each shell is 7 double crochets. And they just take much longer than doing the V-stitches around, you know, because that's just basically a double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet, and then chain 5, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, etc. So obviously the shell stitches just take so much longer to do, also because I need to make sure I have the right count of double crochets in each shell, because else eventually the math doesn't add up. I did have 2, as you notice here, I have 2 tail ends here, and that's simply because the yarn was having a big knot in it, or it was knotted together, and I don't think that looks very nice, so I basically cut the yarn and inserted it again as if it was a new skein that was to join. I need to sew this together. I tend to first do that when I complete a round to make sure that my work adds up and the number of stitches are correct, to prevent having to unravel it all. And then a part of that I need to unravel is maybe where I might have woven in one of the ends. So basically I always do an extra round or 2 just to make sure that I don't get troubles when I need to unravel it, when I have places I could risk unraveling that includes sewn in ends. That was a complex portion of it. So I actually reached to do quite a bit on this blanket, and I'm absolutely not unsatisfied with the progress of this. It has this lovely sheen to it. And you can also easily see this when I do it like this. You can see there is this extra sort of glow to it. It's not glitter, it's just like a shine. And I'm using my 4.5mm prim crochet hook for it. I could have used any 4.5mm hook. Though I tend to like the prim hooks. They are really nice when you use what I call the knife grip. So when I crochet, I kind of have this knife hold of my crochet hook, rather than some use the pencil. I don't know. I'm impressed that people can use a pencil grip. I am a knife holder, and therefore I do enjoy that there is a good length to the hook and so on. But this 4.5mm hook is the ones I've been using for this project. So yeah, I think the baby blanket is really making a nice progress. So the next project that I am working on is the, let's see, I just need a bit of yarn. It's the leafy scarf, even though I'm wondering if it's more like a diamond shaped scarf. Diamond leaf scarf. What should we call it? Like, right now it's just named the leafy scarf because the idea was to have it with a more leafy design. I'm keen to hear your suggestions down below. Right now I'm a bit for the leafy, but I'm also a bit for the diamond shapes because it is sort of diamond shaped when you look at this filet stitch. So here we have it, and that's a progress. And let's see, I need to turn it around actually for you to easier see it. So I stopped at that stitch marker last week. That blue one is where I am at. The stitch marker is, let's see, 1, 2, 3 rows behind and a bit, basically. So I've added about 3 rows to this one. It's fair to say I did spend time wrapping up my other projects, and that's just taking time. And yet I'm still not unsatisfied with how far I've gotten here. We are still in this green to mint green color change. And I call it candy green because it looks like candy. Like if it had been red and white, I would definitely have called this one candy. You can see it here. This is the cake. And it's 100% cotton cake. We started with 250 grams and 1,000 meters of yarn, and this shows it much better. You can see we are slowly getting out of this candy cake. We just have a few more rounds left of the cake. Of course, there's plenty of yarn. Looking how it's caked up, and then we go into a more solid mint green before we again get a new candy-like color, but slightly ever less so visible. Because that's gonna be between this mint green and the light mint green. We have this new candy mint green, and then we finish with this light mint green when this shawl is complete. And yeah, I'm happy with the result. It's working up really nicely. And as you know, at least if you've been following my yarn talks, I will make a tutorial for this one. Just not this yarn, but the pattern. And I do believe it's leafy, but I also believe it's a bit diamond shaped. So yeah, if you have suggestions for a name here, I'll happy receive any suggestions. What you're thinking on when you're seeing, is it more like diamonds or is it more like leaves? We did a few times talk about the yarn that I'm going to make the tutorial in, and it's a few yarn talk videos ago that I showed you what I had decided to choose. And then ever since in my yarn talks, I've managed to keep that away in my stash. I have found the yarn because I will hopefully maybe begin on the tutorial this week. And if not, then I will definitely begin towards the end of next week. Again, it kind of depends on how my real life schedule is summed up, but this is the yarn I'm going to be using, and I will be starting from the outer edge on this and then work my way to the center. And this is a Hobbii twister cake where, oh, sorry. There we go. Where this is a Stanley cotton cake. But thread-wise, they are different yarns, but this will work absolutely fine for the project. I'm likely gonna be using a 3.5mm crochet hook for it. And again, as I said, starting from the outside, going towards the center, and it's a bit like a fall leaf concept. I love these natural colors it have. And it's the colorway sorry, that's a lot number. It's a colorway 52, and that's the one they call a Zen Garden. And it's like, yeah, I would say it's a bit of an autumn Zen feeling. So that would be really cool if I could have my tutorial ready towards autumn or before autumn, so people are ready to make their autumn shawls. It's 250 grams, which comes with 1,000 meters of yarn. So for the US guys, this is 8.8 ounces coming with 1,093 yards. It's 55% cotton and 45% acrylic, and they recommend 3.5 to 4 millimeter crochet hook. So I need to find out if I'm going to use the 3.5 or the 4 millimeter, but generally this is going to be absolutely gorgeous. It's classified a fine yarn. It can be washed at 40 degrees, can be ironed, lay flat to dry, do not tumble dry, do not bleach, do not do other crazy stuff. It's made in Turkey, but designed in Denmark. I love it. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. So this is the yarn that I will be making the tutorial from, which I will be starting within the next 2 weeks for sure. I will definitely be working on it. And I don't think I have the other, this one finished by then, but that's all right. I don't expect it to be finished by then. I'm just gonna co-work on them basically. This one I'm using my 3 millimeter prim hook, but I have been testing out this Clover Soft Touch 3 millimeter hook, and I must say I really, really enjoy this hook. And now I'm talking about the metal piece here. I wish it was a little bit more inlined and pointy like the prim is. You can see there's a difference between them, but the metal here is going so smoothly into the yarn and grabs the yarn really nicely. So it's a smooth crocheting hook, and it's very light, which is absolutely not bad either. But my challenge with this hook is, for me as a knife gripper, as you can see, it's a bit short. I wish there was a combination of these two hooks. So basically that it was this hook with this head, maybe slightly ever so pointy from this, but this handle. Like, you can see the difference here in length if we place them around the length where it goes out. I so much wish there was this mixture, a hybrid between the two. That would be my dream. So that was my current running projects, but that doesn't mean that I don't have new projects coming up. The first project I have is the Oasis Cardigan made by a baby merino wool. And the yarn I have for this is the DROPS Baby Merino here. And it's basically a super wash threaded extra fine merino wool, which is 100% merino wool, and it's so ever soft. Like, I would not guess this was merino if it wasn't because it was smelling a little bit of wool, and it's not even a bad wool smell. Like, it's reasonably neutral woolly smell, and the feeling is not like, it's just a very, very nice merino. For those that's interesting, DROPS Baby Merino is a very nice, fine merino wool. And yes, it is a fine yarn, as you can see here. I have 8 donuts of these because I am gonna crochet myself a cardigan. And the cardigan pattern I found is like a circular pattern cardigan, which means that from what I understood, I haven't read it into depth yet. I just looked at the photo and were like, I have to have that cardigan, and I bought the yarn. And checked, of course, there was a size that was likely going to fit me. That's the only research I've done on it, nothing else. The yarn is using the DROPS Baby Merino because the pattern I have is from DROPS themselves. They have a website full of patterns, full of free patterns even. On the website called garnstudio.com. I can link, I will of course link to that down below, as well as I will link to the pattern that will be used for this baby merino yarn. As I said, I have 11 of these donuts, and I am gonna read into getting started on it, basically. I don't know what to expect, but we will see. The pattern called for a 3.5mm crochet hook. The 3.5mm should be free and available, at least if I want to use my prim hooks, because I used my 3.5mm with the Leaf on Me vest, which I only now need to sew together. Therefore, my 3.5mm hook is available. I had another project that I wanted to make, which is a very light sweater with 2 strands of yarn held together. I already made the gauge swatch, which you have seen on a yarn talk video like almost 2 months ago, maybe 1.5 months. And for that, I need to use my 4mm hook, my 4mm prim hook. And since I'm using that hook with my baby blanket right now, I do have other 4mm hooks, but in the event, I prefer to use my prim hooks. I like to just do one project at a time using the same hook size, with the exception of then this shawl and this one. But I decided to make this vest first before the sweater. The sweater seems more needed towards autumn, and we're still at the beginning of summer. So depending on how quick I work, I will work on this first, and then when the baby blanket is finished, or maybe when another project is finished, of the other long-term projects I have, I will start on that sweater. And I know lots of you are looking forward to this firefly sweater, which is made of these 2 very thin threads of yarn that I'm gonna hold together. Yeah. The last thing I am gonna do as new projects would be a hat. And for that hat, I am gonna use this Umami Tweed, also from Hobbii. And as you can see, it is 75% premium acrylic, 22% wool, and 3% viscose. Very, very clearly written. It's a bulky weight yarn, and it's Oasis branded 100. It's made in Turkey, designed in Denmark. 150 grams in this whole skein. Gives you 83 meters of yarn. In US terms, this is 5.3 ounces to 90 yards. There should be enough to make exactly 1 crochet hat. They recommend a 10mm crochet hook. I found my 9 and 10mm hook from Prim, so I have them laying around. And this is just meant as a lovely quick hat project. And I just have this single skein because I got it in one of the Hobbii Lucky bags, and it was in the Lucky Valentine bag. And honestly, I have no clue what to use this yarn for otherwise. So I decided I'm gonna make a hat from it, and it's going to go to my donation pool of hats that I'm going to bring to Denmark when I am gonna visit my parents in August. And you will maybe find me making a few hats over the next period of time as some nice quick projects in between everything else that's going on. And I think it's nice just to have something else that's quick to work up. It makes you feel a little bit, get some variation in things. I think that's how we need to say it. So the last few things before rounding up this yarn talk video is that I am supposed to tell you that stay tuned. On Wednesday I will be drawing the winner from my 500 milestone subscriber giveaway. I have linked to that giveaway here in the description box down below if you haven't watched it yet and haven't participated and you would love to. Then on Thursday we are hosting a new giveaway. Stay tuned for that one, especially if you like the colors of purple. There will be some gorgeous acrylic purple yarns there and a few other lovely stuff, so stay tuned for that yarn talk video, or not yarn talk, sorry, giveaway video. So that's on Thursday. On Friday I have an ice yarn haul coming up for you guys, so also stay tuned for the ice yarns haul. And then I will see you again on Monday for a new yarn talk video. So thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give this video a like if you like yarn, yarn consent, and please comment down below. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Stay safe and have a very safe and great week ahead, and happy crocheting, crafting, knitting, or whatever you may do. Take care. Goodbye.